Hello, hello, hello. It is Samantha here with, I think it's vlog even number 3, I think. And I know I only put a video out on, I think it was Friday. And I was going to wait maybe until during the week or maybe when my little one goes back to school. But I wanted to have a little bit of a chatty video, if that's okay. I've got my cup of tea in my favourite cup, so I will wait if you want till you get your cup of whatever you'd like to drink. You got one? Awesome. Before I actually start, I want to, if you've noticed in my previous video, the lamp. The lamp is George Pig from Peppa Pig. Bought it for my daughter, but it had for her room because she doesn't like the dark, so she sleeps with a lamp. But it made a really weird noise and I didn't really like it, so I kept it in this bedroom. This is what it is. It just needs redecorating, as you can see. Oh, excuse me. I have put some more pictures up, which I just printed off the computer just to make it look a little bit prettier. I don't think it's really worked too well, but we are in the midst of starting to redecorate the house slowly. But yeah, my lamp broke spectacularly, and I needed a new one, and it was the only one available in the house, so I nabbed this one because it was already in our room on what is the broken bookcase that needs to be replaced, which will be replaced. Although, knowing my luck, I'll get the studio set up before everything's replaced in here, which is quite funny to think about. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, I'm not a Peppa Pig fan. I just have a lamp because I needed one. So what do I want to talk about today? It might be a bit higgledy-piggledy all over the place. I'm hoping I can have some sort of an order. I want to start with where we went on Wednesday of the week just gone. With my husband, brother-in-law and daughter, we all took a trip to Liverpool. We parked at, it's called, and I've actually typed it out because I specifically looked for the road, because if you're disabled, do not, I repeat, if you can help it, do not park at Liverpool docks. The first time we actually went to the docks was last year. We went during one of the half terms with my little girl. Even the disabled parking was like £6 for a couple of hours, which is not enough time, in my opinion, to do the docks. And to be honest, there's so much to do there. Even parking where we parked, we'd have had to have shifted anyway, found somewhere else to park, because you can spend all day there, literally. There's so much to do, but we only went to do the Maritime Museum, and my selfish pick for the day was the Walker Art Gallery. And I'll get to that in a minute, because there's quite a funny story behind that. But yeah, we parked on, let's see if I can find it, Brunswick Street. So as you're going into Liverpool, you've got Liverpool docks on your left, carry on going. Then there'll be 2 lots of traffic lights. I think it's the second lot of traffic lights, you turn left. That, I think, is Brunswick Street. There's disabled parking there, obviously for 3 hours with a badge. That's free parking. Even in the docks with your badge, it's like, it's extortionate. I'm sorry, it's super expensive. Because when we first went, we were driving round and round and round because we didn't know where to park, and it was a bit of a muddle and a kerfuffle. And then we found Brunswick Street by sheer accident. I don't know how. No idea how. But yeah, park up there. It is a short walk to the Museum of Liverpool. You walk a little bit further if you're able to. It is accessible even with wheelchair. It is bumpy. I'm going to warn you now. It's bumpy getting to the Maritime Museum if you park on Brunt. But then again, it's free parking there. I don't know anywhere else where there's free parking for disabled, because we're not familiar with Liverpool. And yeah, so we got there about 12:40 at the Maritime Museum. We left at 2:35 because obviously we had to shift the car. And I enjoyed it. It was quite good. There was an exhibition on the Titanic, but it's all stuff I already kind of knew, and there was nothing a huge amount in the exhibition that I hadn't already heard in all of the documentaries and things, because my daughter she was learning about it at school, and then she got very obsessed with it, and then we ended up watching everything that there was on on the Titanic. She even watched stuff that was on the History Channel, History Hit on YouTube, which I was subscribed to their actual streaming service. However, I found that quite a lot of the videos that they show on their site, you can actually see for free on YouTube. So I figured it wasn't worth the subscription fee to just be able to watch the same stuff on YouTube. I did look to make sure I wasn't imagining it, and I wasn't. There really is. Obviously, there's documentaries you can't access if you're not part of the streaming service. So I cancelled my 14 days free. I had like 3 days left, and I hadn't really watched a lot of it because I've been watching it on YouTube, which was a bit daft. But yeah, so there wasn't a huge amount, and also the costumes that were in there that the women wore and things, that was kind of cool. And there was the captain's uniform and things like that, so that was kind of cool too. So if you like the Titanic but don't know a huge amount about it and want to start somewhere, and you're not far from Liverpool, or you want to take a trip to Liverpool for the day, it is well worth it, especially if you park in the main car parks and you're able to walk to the docks. There is so much to do in that area, and a little bit further up, I'm not sure how much further and whereabouts it is because I can't remember, is the Blue Coat, which is a gallery exhibition space, which I only went there, I think I worked this out about 10 years ago when I was at college, I think. No, 10, 12, about 12 years ago, I went to the Blue Coat. It's kind of cool when I went to see a Picasso jewellery exhibition, which was part of my, it was a day trip for my course, which is why I went. It was free. And it was kind of all right. It was a beautiful space. But yeah, we did the Maritime Museum, and then we went back to the car, and then after, I don't know how long driving around to get to the Walker Art Gallery. It's in a very odd place. You can drive there, but it's in a really weird thing. You have to drive around and around, and the sat nav does not exactly help. But we parked outside what was the Liverpool Museum and Library. We managed to park there, and then I went in because there's like all these steps up, and I thought, is that the Walker? Because I'd never been to the Walker Art Gallery. And I spoke to a nice security guy in the library, and I said, how do I get into the Walker with all those steps without going up the steps? Is there another way? And he said, what steps? And he said, are you sure you're in the right place? And I was like, I have no clue anymore. I don't know. It'd been a long day. And so he said, no, it's this way. And it was a little bit further up on the left. And it's quite a beautiful gallery. And they have ramp access up, and it's free to get in, as was the Maritime Museum. I think all the museums and the docks are, I'm not sure, because we didn't have time to do anything else. There was the Pie Master's House, which I wanted to do, but we didn't have time. But anyway, when we got to the Walker, the main reason I went is because if you watch Portrait and Landscape Artist of the Year on Sky Arts, which I'm a bit of a waning fan of these days, I just have it as background noise because I'm not always completely, I don't always like the art that they have on there. The winner who painted Kim Cattrall's portrait. Kim Cattrall's portrait hangs in the Walker. I've been trying since this series ended, I think maybe 7 years ago. I'm not sure. It's been quite a while. I've been trying to get to the Walker Art Gallery specifically to see her painting, her portrait. And so I asked a very nice lady on the front desk, I think her name was Sarah B, about the portrait. She said, are you not here to see everything else, the wonderful things we have? And I was like, yeah, I'm here to see that too, but I'd like to see the Kim Cattrall portrait. And it was actually out. It'd been on loan, and it was back for conservatorship, or whatever you call it. It was basically back for the conservation to make sure it was fine to go back on display. That's going back on display in October, in case you're curious. But yes, I went upstairs. Well, it was a bit of a kerfuffle as well, because I asked my 8-year-old, do you want to come upstairs with mummy? And she went, I don't want to go, I want to stay here. So I said to my husband and brother-in-law, she doesn't want to go up, are you going to stay here with her? They sat down on the bench, and I was like, oh, well, they're sitting down. I'll go up, I'll be 5 minutes. I think I might have been up there for like 20. We got there also just before last entry. We got there at like 10 to 4. They close at 5. So I went upstairs and oh my goodness me. Now, not only did I get to see an Ash painting on the ground floor where the World War I and II artworks were and the British artists, but I went upstairs and I could have stayed up there all day. In fact, if I hadn't been so tired and if it hadn't been near closing time, I probably would have snuck somehow with me my rollator to hide somewhere so I could spend the night there. I absolutely fell in love with it. It is my favourite art gallery. I love it more than Manchester Art Gallery because I've been there so many times, and also because it's become very contemporary and I'm not a huge fan of that. They got rid of, well, they've put, not got rid of, they were put in storage quite a lot of the artworks that I really love, and I don't know what they were thinking on the first floor. I like the Classics Gallery, and I don't know what they've done with the other galleries on the first floor. I just don't like them. I liked them as they were. I don't like change. But the Classics Gallery is still quite lovely. But the Walker Art Gallery was amazing. Oh my god, there was a Renaissance room, the Baroque room, the medieval art room. What else was there? There was so much, absolutely so much. There was portraits of Henry VIII. There was a beautiful portrait of Elizabeth I, Marguerite of Navarre, who is King Henry Navarre's wife, of which I own the DVD now. I don't know how historically accurate it's going to be. I think there's some accuracy to the film from what history hits it. But yeah, it was absolutely stunning. It was amazing. And there are doors, so if you have some mobility issues, you need someone with you upstairs. I managed, mainly because I think people took pity on me. Not pity, but helped. They helped me. Pity is probably a wrong word. They looked at me and figured if she needs help. So I was lucky enough to have someone visitors. They were holding the doors open for me and things like that, which is fantastic. There is a lift to every floor. As I don't know if I mentioned the Maritime Museum, there's a lift to every floor there as well. The cafe was okay, but you can't eat your own food in the cafe. We sat outside with the seagulls wandering about trying to beg for food at the Maritime Museum. At the Walker, the only thing I found with the Walker was the gift shop, so small, was absolutely jam-packed, and it was easy to kind of maneuver. In a wheelchair, there's one bit that maybe might be a little bit difficult, but to get to the craft gallery, which was amazing to see the craft gallery, then you're better off going through the sculpture gallery and then coming out through the sculpture gallery, because where the cafe is, all the chairs and tables are set up and it's not easy to get through. I had to really battle through with my rollator. My husband had to move chairs out of the way and tables and things. So yeah, it's much easier if you go through the sculpture gallery on the ground floor. And talking of the gift shop, my husband left me alone. He left me alone in the gift shop. That was a really, yeah. He was sat on the bench, and I was with my little girl, and even I got her a few things as well. She wanted a pencil and a pen for the museum. She collects them when she goes to museums. She likes to collect a pen and a pencil. We ended up with a magnet as well, which is downstairs on the fridge. And then I saw this, which is the Catherine Rowe, sorry if I have mispronounced the name. It's a 200-lined journal, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's just gorgeous. I loved this. I fell in love with it, and I have actually used it already. I wrote notes. I'm basically taking these places with me to write notes in about where I've been to, and you can tell I wasn't overly excited, but it was okay at the Maritime Museum. But at the Walker, I've written quite a bit. I have lost a postcard because I had Elizabeth I as well. but this is Marguerite of Navarre, painted, I'm not sure when. It says French school, Jean Clouet, 1486 to 1540. But I got this, and I got a Elizabeth I one as well, because it was really beautiful. I did have it in my notebook because I was going to stick them in, and I've lost the Elizabeth one. And I also, I'm hoping it's all in here. Yeah, no, I found it. That's the Elizabeth one. It's beautiful, absolutely stunning. It was painted, attributed to Nicholas Hillard, Queen Elizabeth I, the Pelican Portrait, National Museums of Liverpool, Walker Art Gallery. These were like 75p each. The notebook I think was £9. I forgot how much I also got this as well, because I need to put it in my the final year of Anne Boleyn. I need to put it in there. That's why I got it, because it also matches this as well. And even on the back there's like a little bit of blurb and Elizabeth's portrait, and it's pattern made from royal Tudor emblems, featuring on the top left and top right of the portrait painted Queen Elizabeth by Nicholas Hillard, who was known for his portraits of members of the courts of England. So yeah, I got a bookmark as well, and I've also bought, and I've been wanting something of hers for quite some time now. It's a book called The Goblin Market by Christina Rossetti. It's also got other poems as well, not just Goblin Market. So it's got An Old World Thicket, Christmas Carol, Uphill, Spring Quiet. There's lots of poems in this. And if you don't know who Christina Rossetti is, she had a very, very famous brother whose artwork I think may actually hang in the Walker. Her brother was Dante Gabriel Rossetti, who was one of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, of which I am a huge, huge, huge fan of. And a good many years ago, I went to Manchester Art Gallery to see the Holman Hunt exhibition, and I got to see The Light of the World. And I'd only seen it in books, and I thought, oh, this is quite impressive. But when I saw it in person, and it's humongous. He did about four versions of it before he did the final version. And I can without a doubt say it's probably my all-time favourite Pre-Raphaelite painting. I fell in love with that. I became obsessed with it. I absolutely love that painting so much. I must have stood there for ages looking at this painting. I did look at the rest of the paintings, and I think I've got a book of it, of the exhibition. I'm not sure. It was one of the very few paid exhibitions when I went to Manchester Art Gallery. The other one was, I can't remember the title of it, but it was the feminist artists of like Frida Kahlo and a few other ones, and I got the catalogue for that as well. So that was quite impressive. So I've only ever paid to see 2 exhibitions there, I think it is, at the Manchester Art Gallery. Usually they're free, but because obviously these are so big. Now I have a bit of a stationery haul. I think one of the pens I may have lost, but I've been watching Ruby Granger's video, and she did a stationery haul, and I had some birthday money, which I'd forgotten about. So I spent some of my birthday money on this, and I bought some other stuff a few days before as well, actually. But I've bought things that are going to help me. Oh no, I found all the pens. I actually have found all the pens. One of these I've given to my daughter because she wanted a purple pen, and the first lot of pens I ordered, I liked them, but I wanted the vintage set. So I have bought the Sarasa pens. I have to admit that I kind of saw these on Ruby Granger's video, and I have to have the correct pen. I'm fussy with pens. It sounds really weird, but I like these pens, but they will take a little bit of getting used to, because I usually like a good thick pen to write with. but these are very beautiful. I got the 0.5 Sarasa clip pens, and these are, I don't know what the title of these ones are, but they're very pretty. Yeah, these are the first ones I got. These weren't with my birthday money. These were with a mobile phone lanyard thingamabob, which is basically it's a case, and it's got a lanyard on it, and I bought it to help me getting around so I don't have to keep faffing in my bag when I'm walking along with my rollator, because it's not so easy to just stop and get my bag. And I hate my bag. It's too small and I can't find anything in it because everything gets stuck. I need a better bag. Again, I'm a bit of a bag obsessive. I'm still trying to find the perfect rucksack, because I don't like crossbody bags because it tends to cause pain. So I have to have a rucksack, but I haven't yet found the perfect rucksack, except for one specific one, but they're very expensive. Saying that, I have found one. I did buy one from Go Outdoors, and I just don't like it. I tend to take it out with me when I'm going what I call spelunking, also known as drawing and sketching, and I'll load it up with my art stuff, and I'll put it in the basket on my rollator. So that's the first lot of pens. With my birthday money that I had left, I bought this. It's a coin clutch bag purse thingy-mabob. I got it from Amazon. I did pay a little bit for this, but it was with my birthday money, and I'd been spying these for the last year, and my favourite Shakespeare play is A Midsummer Night's Dream, and it has a little quote on the back that says, "Love looks not with the eyes but with the mind, and therefore is winged. Cupid painted blind." And I actually went to see the play when I was at school. It was before GCSEs, and I went with a very small amount of people. My English teacher, well, a English teacher, I don't remember her name. She was so lovely. She was very near to retirement. We went to see, and Bottom pulls his pants down, and I think you see that in the Kenneth Branagh version, which that is perfect. Kenneth Branagh can vaguely do no wrong, except when it comes to Poirot. Didn't like that. But Midsummer Night's Dream is probably my all-time favourite Kenneth Branagh film he's ever done, and it's perfect, and I absolutely love Midsummer Night's Dream. We went to see it, and Bottom pulls his pants down, and this nice little old lady teacher said, "Whatever you do, don't tell your mums and dads that you did that." And the first thing I went was, "Bottom pulled his pants down." It was hilarious. We went to the theatre in Manchester to go and see it. I forgot which one it was, but it's been my favourite one ever since. Plus I love fairies and fairy tales and folk tales and things, so it's my all-time favourite one. So I bought this. I bought another pack of the Sarasa pens. These are the ones that I saw on Ruby Granger's video. I'm very sorry I stole your pen idea. I want to give a shout out to Ruby for showing these pens. These are beautiful pens, and they are absolutely stunning to write with. I just have to get used to writing with them a little bit. I like the fact that they have a little bit of, you can't actually see it, but here they've got like a rubber bit, so I hold my pen in a really weird way. I don't know why, I think it's something to do with my dyslexia, but I hold it in a really stupidly weird way, which makes my handwriting not fantastic, which is why I end up with loads and loads of different notebooks, and they all look terrible. I don't like writing because my writing's a mess, but I'm trying to improve it. I don't know if I can, but yeah, so I bought the vintage ones, and I gave the purple one to my little girl. She's like, "Can I have a purple one? I want a purple one." So technically I ordered these for her, mainly to get the purple one out, but also because I really liked the vintage coloured ones as well. I bought myself these. Again, I saw these on Ruby Granger's video, but there's another reason I really wanted these, is because being dyslexic, I like to find things that will help me cope with reading with my dyslexia. because I have a bad memory as well. If you really want me to tell you about that, I will do one day. Let me know in the comments below. I can forget very easily where I have left my page. So I'm still reading Miss Plum and Miss Penny. It is absolutely brilliant. The writing is just, it's beautiful. It's so descriptive. I can imagine what Miss Plum and Miss Penny look like. I can imagine what the characters look like because Dorothy Evelyn Smith wrote it so beautifully. So yeah, so now I put one of the page flags, where I have finished reading, and that's really going to help stop me from rereading the paragraph about 4 times, and I might actually get through the book a little bit faster. So yeah, this came as like 1400. They're all different colours. I don't know if I'm going to get through these. It's a challenge that I will accept. And I also bought this. It's for putting your book on, because sometimes my hands get sore from holding a book. So once I get used to putting books on this, I can use this to sit and read for quite a bit longer. This is the Hands stand. They do have this in Waterstones. It's £12.99 in Waterstones. I got it for like £9.70 something from Amazon. So I bought this as well. This is really going to help, because the book holder, it's that I had. I say had because I gave it to my 8-year-old. I found it a little bit fiddly. This is a bit fiddly when I first started to try and use this. I only had tested it out when it came today. It is a tiny bit fiddly, but once I get used to how you put books on it, it'll be fine. Excuse me. So yeah, I think that's going to help me a lot more. So I gave the book holder to my 8-year-old. And I also bought myself another book sleeve. I have fallen in love with these. I wish I could I can make these. The really annoying thing is I could make these out of really pretty fabrics, but I can't use my sewing machine. It's really annoying, but I can't use my sewing machine because of my stupid elbow, which I'm getting sorted out, hopefully, or started to sort out this week coming. So I bought myself one with foxes on. I didn't really like the picture very much, and I thought, well, I need one, and it was a little bit cheaper than the one I originally bought. And I thought, it's with my birthday money, why not? And again, it's got the pocket on the front, and my book fits into it beautifully. I can fit quite a bit into this one because this is a smaller book. And I can fit things into the front as well. So I can fit the pouch and the book holder, and my glasses fit into this as well because this is a smaller book. I'll be taking this with me when I go to my fracture clinic appointment, because I'm gonna probably be there for a while because it's a hospital. But yeah, so that's my stationery haul. Again, thank you goes out to Ruby Granger and her. I'll link the video to her stationery haul under this one. Anything again I talk about, I will link under here. And if there's anything specific you want me to let you know about that I may have forgotten to link, please let me know in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer your question as quick as I can. What else is there to chat about? Oh, bought myself a new book from World of Books. I bought 2. One was for my daughter because she wanted one on the Tudors, and she's already read the book. She loves it, and I read it to her before bedtime last night because she insisted on it. And I'm very sorry, but I was watching one of Ruby Granger's videos, and yeah, I bought the Everyman's Library Pocket Poets, River Poems. I do buy my own things, honestly I do, as proven with the book sleeve. But yeah, I'm always looking out for book recommendations. Funnily enough, before I came to film this, I was watching Lil's Vintage World, some of the older videos from like a couple of years ago, from when she did Tudor Timber. I've been after a book about Jane Grey. I would love to know more about poor little Jane Grey, who was queen for 9 or 13 days. I can't remember what Lil said, but either way, it was only a small amount, and it was like, we want you to be queen, and then they're like, we're going to take your head. And she was only like, I think she was 22, I think. Maybe I could be wrong on the age, but she was only very, very young, and it's just really sad. And I'd love to know more about Lady Jane Grey. And I have been watching Becoming Elizabeth, so obviously she features quite heavily in that. I know she married, I think it was a Dudley, I think. I'm not 100% sure because my history, I've only just really started reading about the Tudors and things, so and there's a lot about Anne Boleyn I didn't know, and Henry VIII, well, yeah, he was a bit of a rat, wasn't he? No one really liked him, and I can see why. But yeah, so I wanted to learn more about Lady Jane Grey, so I managed to get a book recommendation from a very earlier video to do with Tudor Timber, which I am taking part in. I'll give you what little bit of information of what Tudor Timber is. If you want to know more, go to Lil's Vintage World. She, I don't think she did it last year because the Queen died. But then I know, because I started following her 2 years ago. And I'd also like to say thank you very much to her as well for a very, very lovely couple of comments she's left on my videos. And thank you so much for subscribing too. It does mean quite a lot because she's one of my favourite YouTubers I started following to do with history and to do with books as well. So it's really lovely to have her following me. But yeah, I'm doing Tudor Timber this year. I'm determined to do Tudor Timber. I did try it the year before last, but I think it was halfway through September, and I did start, and then I just kind of forgot. And I was using Audible for that because I've got is it How to Be a Tudor by Ruth Goodman, who, if you've ever seen Victorian Farm, Edwardian Farm, Tudor Farm, Victorian Pharmacy, Wartime Farm, there's 3 historians, all with different expertise in history, and they live on a farm in a specific period for such an amount of time, and they really throw themselves into it. So, and they've made programs out of it. It started, I don't know how long ago, probably 10 years. It started with Victorian Farm, and then there were other ones that followed as well. I've not seen all of the Wartime Farm. I didn't even know there was a Tudor Farm, and I missed the Edwardian Farm. There are books that accompany each series as far as I know as well, and they've done Christmas specials. So I can highly recommend those TV shows. They are some of my favourites, especially the Victorian one. So they took an old Victorian house in an estate, and they were allowed to move in, and they cleaned it up, and they fixed up where it needed to be fixed up and things, and they created an ironmonger's forge and things like that. It was really, really interesting, living history at its best. And yeah, Ruth Goodman, she's one of my favourite historians. So yeah, also I think she also, I don't know who the other ones were. One was a psychiatrist, no, one was a profiler, and I don't know who the other expert was, but she also did a program on Jack the Ripper's victims, which was absolutely fantastic because everyone knows about Jack the Ripper. Who knows the victims? Who knows Mary Kelly and Annie Chapman and all the other ones? And it was the first time that they really gave a background on each of the women. And there's a lot of misconceptions around the victims as well. So it was absolutely fantastic to see that. That was on, I don't know what it was called. If I can remember, I'll try and link it somehow. I have no idea what it's called, so I'll do a Google search. What else has been going on? I can't think of anything else. I have some plans for this, what's left of this year. I want to get my studio back, and I was going to make it a sewing / art studio and usually when I start with like a new hobby or a new interest, I run away with it and then I get bored and then I drop it. And I don't know what it is. I don't have a very long attention span and I've never been very academic. However, I failed English twice, and English was my favourite subject at school. And I was trying to rack my brains as to why I passed the mocks but not the actual GCSEs. And my husband made a point that maybe it's because my spelling was absolutely diabolical. And at school, it wasn't known that I was dyslexic. It wasn't until I went to do, I think it was National Diploma in Jewellery. My tutor said to me, "Do you think you could be dyslexic?" And I finally got the guts up to take a dyslexia test. I had asked in the past because I've done quite a few other courses, and they all were like, "Oh no, you've done this test so you can't be." So I actually asked to have a proper test done, and I was told I didn't need to wait for the results because most people did it in like an hour, and then it was obviously a dyslexic sort of thing, but it took me 3.5 hours to complete the dyslexia test. And there was no doubt in the assessor's mind that I was dyslexic. So that was that was a very useful moment in my life because so many things fell into place. When I started at uni doing a degree I absolutely loved. I love art history. I was supposed to go to University College Worcester. Now it's known as the University of Worcester, I think. And I didn't even get there because, that was a kerfuffle. So then I rang round during clearing and I got a place at Manchester Met for art history, and I thought it was because of the change and it was the unfamiliar surroundings and things, and the tutors were absolutely amazing. Michael Howard, who I follow on Instagram, I'm friends with on Facebook. I've met his wife, Ghislaine Howard. She's one of my favourite artists and she's ever so lovely. In fact, her book, I forgot the name of the book. I will find it and I will link it because the book is amazing. It's got all of her most beautiful artworks in it. She also has it's on, I think, Pona exhibition at the Chamber of Commerce in Manchester. I think there is a painting at Salford Art Gallery. I could be wrong. I don't remember seeing it last time I was there, but I have seen one there. And I think there's some of her art at the Whitworth in Manchester, but I've not been for a little while. So maybe we'll get there in the next couple of weeks or when my little one goes back to school. But yeah, so I did have a great time, but I really struggled because I didn't know I was dyslexic. If I'd known that, it would have been a very different outcome. A very, very, very different outcome, I think. I don't think I would have left. I would have been able to get quite a bit of help and I would have stayed there. But then if I hadn't have left and done the National Diploma in Jewellery, I wouldn't have met my husband. So it's things happen for a reason, as I always say. But yeah, knowing now what I hadn't known for so long, everything really has fallen into place. So I'm determined to resit my English GCSE, and I would like to possibly do a history GCSE. I found one online, but I'll have to save up for it. And I've decided that as I've really gotten back into reading, I mean, I've really fallen back in love with it. I've always loved reading, but I'm really, really enjoying it even more now, mainly because there's a lot I can't do, so I am stuck indoors quite a bit, but now I've got something to distract myself with from stress and from pain, so that's kind of cool. And also I bought myself a new pair of walking boots, and I didn't necessarily like them when I first put them on, but my daughter's like, they're really lovely, and so I figured I need shoes I can wear. These will be my new adventure boots, so I will be putting my adventure boots on, and especially when she goes back to school, because obviously she keeps getting in the way of the videos that I'm filming. I'm hoping to do vlogs a lot more of places that I go to visit, so that's going to be really cool. And also I am looking forward to resitting English because I really would like to pass it, because it was always my favourite my favourite lesson at school. I did try to resit it before when I was at college, and again I failed it. But now I know I'm dyslexic, so that helps. I don't know how that's going to work though, because you have to, I don't know if they've changed it, but when I took my dyslexia test every 5 years, you had to take it again, like it was going to clear up. So I do have my report somewhere. So yeah. And I don't really have too much else planned, really. I'm hoping to go to possibly the Mozzie this week. In the next couple of weeks. I just put my finger on my teeth. I don't know why. I want to take my 8-year-old to the Museum of Science and Industry. I also want to go to Manchester Museum because I am desperate to get in there since they've done it up. It was closed for, I think it was 2 years. We were supposed to go a couple of years ago, but I was too ill and we ended up staying close to home. And I also gave information about my Stockport Museum and Staircase House, I think. Now, if you go to Stockport, you can buy I forgot what the ticket's called, but it gets you into X amount of places on one ticket for a certain amount of money. The museum is free. Stockport Museum. Stockport Staircase House isn't. I think I mentioned that in the last video, so you have to pay for that, but you can get a combined ticket for that, I think the air raid shelters and the hat works. And that I'm hoping to take my little girl to the hat works as well, because I've been there a few times, but it'll be different because she's never been. And we took a trip to Lime Hall a couple of days ago, Friday I think it was, and even though it was like really close to like closing time, we made the mistake of listening to the woman on the gate. Unfortunately, I did mention I had mobility problems and I couldn't walk up huge hills and I needed to park as close as possible. She kept saying that the main car park's fine and that you get the shuttle, but by the time we'd have waited for the shuttle and got up the hill, it was getting to 3:30. The house closed at 4, and we ended up going to Stockport Art Gallery instead. I did mention that, and we voted in the People's Public Art exhibition, which was really cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing the results from that. And really that's about everything that we've done this week. I'm hoping to go to Joddle Bank as well, maybe. Me and my husband went with friends years and years ago. But again, we'd be going with an 8-year-old, so it'll be completely different because she's never been. That'll be kind of a cool place to go. And I'm hoping maybe when she goes back to school, I'm going to think of some places to go to, which will be really awesome, so that we can have a good walk around and I can get back into sketching and things, and maybe take a book or two with me and we can combine it with me sketching and reading. I'm not sure. And a bit of vlogging as well. I'm not very confident at taking videos in public. The very first time I've ever actually been brave enough to take a video and put it on Instagram was when we went to Liverpool. And yeah, it was an interesting day out. It was an interesting couple of hours spent. But would I go back again? Possibly not. Been once. It was quite cool. I did enjoy it, but I enjoyed the Walker Art Gallery more. And there's apparently the Lady Lever Art Gallery, and there's some more art galleries in the vicinity as well. So we're going to go and check them out. But yeah, that's really everything. I mean, I've been chatting now for a while and you're probably bored. If you're still here, thank you for still being here. If you did enjoy this video, can I ask if you want to like the video, maybe even subscribe and help me grow my little growing channel. I now have 12 subscribers, which is kind of cool, and I'd like to see if I can get maybe to 100 by December. Autumn season's coming up, so I'm looking to read more books on autumn, more things like that. I'm hoping to have the studio up and running, which I'll be taking you all with me as I design it. Few trips to IKEA to come up. I need to get drawers for downstairs, and I want to get some bookcases and things, because I don't have any bookcases for the studio as yet. So I need to get some bookcases. So I'm hoping to take you along with me there. And also, like I said, setting up the studio. I do have an artist's desk. However, being that I'm getting more into reading and history, but not doing as big of paintings as I normally would do, I've got an easel. I'm thinking of getting rid of my artist's desk, which still is in a box downstairs. I bought it with Christmas money about 3 years ago, and it's still in the box. It's never been put up. So I might try and either rehome it to charity or sell it. And maybe we can go on a desk hunt together. I want to go to Pear Mill in Stockport, and because I'm not quite sure how to actually style out the studio. I like watching lots of studio tours. So there's things like lots of white and things, and obviously IKEA is the first place you think of, and it's the first place I thought of. Because obviously also it's going to have all of my paints as well, but I'm thinking of getting rid of quite a lot of my art books because I don't read them, I don't use them, and I've moved on from the kind of styles. I'm getting back into more Pre-Raphaelite and things like that. So I'm looking to buy some more books from the Pre-Raphaelite era, more classics and things like that. And also I've been really enjoying things like the Miss Plum and Miss Penny book. So I'd like some more of those books. I do have some on my anniversary gift list for my husband to buy me. I think that's really about it. I think it might be time to stop because I'm just trying to think of things off the top of my head now. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and like I said, anything I've spoken about, I will put underneath the video. And I hope you have a very lovely week, and I hope you have a safe week, and maybe even sunny. It's supposed to be having a heat wave, although it was supposed to have been the week just gone. It was very warm towards the end of the week, and it was really hot on Wednesday. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But yeah, so I'm hoping to go to places like Keene Park, Lime Hall again. I just won't listen to the woman on the gate. We'll just go to where I had a theory of where to park. Plus also, they filmed Pride and Prejudice, Keira Knightley's Pride and Prejudice there. So it was used as Pemberley. It was also used in The Awakening, which is one of my favourite English horror films with Rebecca Hall. It's better than The Woman in Black. If you want to be scared, forget The Woman in Black, the film. I thought it was rubbish. Read the book. The book scared the pants off me. It's only very thin. I'm going to get the book and reread it because I absolutely loved that book. So yeah, don't bother with the film. Read the book. In fact, what I might do is like thinner books and smaller books, which have less pages that I know I can get through really quickly. Because The Woman in Black took me like 3 days, just sitting down and reading it. Obviously, when my little one goes back to school, I can sit and read like all day and it'll be fine. So I'm thinking of getting things like that and giving reviews on them. I think my channel is turning into more of a book channel. I'm really sorry if you're here for the art. The art, like I said, is staying. There's lots of art books I've got that I want to share with you, my favourite art book hauls and things like that. And yeah, I've just not had any chance to do sketching or painting. Well, my 8-year-old's been off, and I keep forgetting to take my sketchbook with me, to be honest. I've not got a lot of room in my rucksack, so once I get the perfect rucksack, it'll be great. And once I get my rollator fixed, because there's a bit fallen out. But yes, so I'm going to stop because I'm just rambling now. Thank you so much for staying with me. I hope your brew didn't go too cold. Mine's gone a little bit cold. I'll just go and get another one. I think that's everything. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry it's been so chatty. If you've enjoyed it though, let me know. Leave a comment and let me know what your favourite book of this month is. What are you reading? Have you got any interesting places you've visited? I would absolutely love to hear, especially if you're in the north of England, because that's where I'm based. So yeah, have a great week, and I will see you again very soon. It will definitely be at least a week before my next video. It gives me a chance to visit places. I've only got like 2 days this week to visit anywhere really, 2 maybe 3, and then the week after I've got the whole week free, which I think is the last week she's on some holidays before she goes back. So it's been nice having her at home, because I've been able to share my love of art and history with her, which she absolutely loves history and she really likes art, and we've been doing things like needle felting and stuff together, so that's been really nice. But when she goes back, I'll get to go to more places as well, because we can have like all day out, because I have to get up to take her to school with my husband, and hopefully I won't be too tired by the end of it, because it's going to take up quite a lot of energy, obviously. So and in September I'm having a knee steroid injection in both knees, so I'm going to be off, hopefully toddling off somewhere really interesting, which I hope to take you with me. So like I said, I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to go, and I will see you next time. Have a fantastic week and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And if you're, like I said, if you're reading anything, please let me know what it is. What's your favourite book of this month? What's your all-time favourite book? Have you got one? It doesn't matter if it's a children's book or a young adults or a history one or a fiction. Just share below. I'd love to hear from you if you've got a favourite book. So I will see you again very soon. I will shut up and I'm gonna go. So I'll see you later. Have a lovely week and stay safe, everyone. Bye bye. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.